Hello and a very warm welcome to you all. I'm Vikas Nangia with TV Asia's brand new The CyberWatch show. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all concerned about our security, safety and privacy in this present technology era. It is significant for us to shape a better future and stay on the top of the technology that continues to evolve day after day. Hence, at TV Asia, we took a special effort and we made sure during the beginning of this year we start a new series which educates and empowers you what the cyber world holds for us. Let's fight the dark side together. Each episode of the CyberWatch show will have the CEOs and top-notch personalities from different walks of life essentially laying emphasis how technology is reshaping our lives. The series is powered by DigitalXForce and iTrustXForce. Joining us now in the second episode of the CyberWatch show, we have with us Lalit Ahluwalia, the founder and CEO of DigitalXForce and iTrustXForce. Lalit, thank you so very much for joining us for another episode. It's a pleasure to have you back on the program.
And thank you, Vikas. It's an honor to be back here. And thank you once again for this wonderful platform. As you rightfully said, join the force, let's fight the dark fight together. And I'm here with you.
Now, last episode, Lalit, you mentioned and you gave us some insight about what the cybersecurity is. To expand on that conversation, I wanted to understand what are the different layers involved in cybersecurity, what the viewers should be aware of. Different kinds of security, cybersecurity. And remember, we also spoke about that shouldn't it be the responsibility of the platform providers, be it e-commerce or any other website or any portal, we are living in the cyber world.
Yes.
Shouldn't it be the responsibility of the providers to give the knowledge and education to the consumers, which is not happening much?
Right.
And we want to do that through this program. What would you say?
Absolutely, Vikas. And I will, again, start with saying, cybersecurity is the responsibility of everyone. It cannot be left to a service provider or one individual or one organization. We all have to participate and we all have to play our part. Coming to the kind of cybersecurity and the threats we're talking about. I know we talked about the online safety, the password, the credential theft, but that's not it. That's just one facet of what we're really experiencing.
Right.
Let me even open up, with a personal life experience from very recent times. My dad, who was trying to really renew the passport for my mom in India, he got an offer from someone saying that if you go this route, we're going to process this in less than 5 days, and guess what? We'll only charge you half the price. Now, of course, in India, there are many similar services which offer the faster processing, and so he would not really know, and he got tricked into that. Next thing, he was asked, can you share the PIN number for your bank account? Now, this is an indicator for everyone. Whoever is watching the show, whenever you're really getting or asked this kind of questions, please pause and ask this question 10 times, if not more. Should I not answer that? And I can tell you what is going on in my dad's mind at the time. Do I have to go through the hassle of longer processing lines? I'm getting an offer, so he's already getting incentivized to take this offer. On top of that, he's getting financially rewarded. Long story short, he ended up giving the PIN number. The next day, that bank account was completely empty. And I can tell you, I had to deal with, for 3 days, all the back and forth, what we should do and not do. And that actually even further exemplified when I keep things more informative at my home. Still, someone can fall victim of that. That tells you how much general public and education is needed to protect yourself from that. Now, these are what I call as common type of attacks. I'm pretty sure the folks have really heard about ransomware, malware, phishing attacks, and we'll talk about that in subsequent shows so that we can practically show you what that really means.
Right.
All these kind of attacks really touch on different areas, trying to really get into your services. How many times have you seen somebody trying to hack into your routers at your home?
Right.
Your Wi-Fi happens very often.
Yes.
Especially when you're not changing the default passwords in the Wi-Fi and the routers.
Yeah.
How many times we talked about the links being given and you give away the information? What about somebody locked or got hold of your data or your system and then asking you to pay a ransom? That happens with small, medium businesses, even larger enterprises.
Right.
These are the kind of common attacks or the threats we are facing in the cyber world. And in the day-to-day life, social media hacks, which I should be worried about, you should be worried about, everyone.
Everyone around, yeah.
And that examples of digital, which we talked in the last episode too, it's gonna become more and more. Healthcare hacks. I don't want anyone who's using some medical devices to kind of really maintain their health or be compromised with that.
Right.
Because that could be a life-threatening scenario.
Can you expand these different layers or different parts of cybersecurity?
Absolutely. I think in simple terms, when we talk about phishing attack, it means somebody is really trying to entice you to give away your valuable information.
Right.
And they find different methods. And I'm pretty sure the audience will correlate or relate to some of the scenarios that I'm going to just talk about. How many times have you noticed that if you're searching for some, let's say, new appliance or new gadget, and the next time when you access your emails and stuff, you start seeing results being filtered for that?
Right, right.
Means you're getting tracked on the web if you have not put the proper data privacy filters on.
Correct.
Now, same way, the bad actors tracking you, your digital footprint. And they're trying to figure out what is that trigger point that is really important to you. In this case, let's say I was trying to buy a $1,000 appliance and the best deal was $950 somewhere. All of a sudden, I get an email, hey, you can buy this for $500.
My gosh, they're trying to lure you.
It's luring, absolutely. That's only on the front, right? And of course, when I know I've searched everywhere, I cannot find, it looks like a good deal.
Right, right.
What's a normal human reaction? Let me go and put that, right?
And it's amazing how they're tracking you.
That's how it is, because they're trying to lure you into and give away the information and do that. That's one example of phishing. I'll tell you another one. I was 4 years back in LA presenting in another conference, and there was I was on the panel, and my co-panelist, he shared a great example of phishing attack. This is on the business side now.
Right.
He said, one of these days, I get an email from my boss, and looks very legit. Looks like same email address, the request looks great, and everything.
Right.
He said the only reason what made me not believe that this was from him, he said thank you in the end. He said as much as I know my boss, he never thanks anyone.
Interesting.
Be self-aware of your surroundings.
Right.
And do not get lured.
Right.
That's really some of the examples on the phishing. And I'm pretty sure we'll talk about many more of the scenarios.
I think the name itself is very self-explanatory, that one could understand that they're phishing, soliciting something, and you should be aware and cautious
exactly.
about it. All right, great.
Just like how you do phishing.
Explanation, great insight. It's time for us to take a short break over here, but before we do that, on the other side of the break, of course, we'll talk about malware and the other, layers related to cybersecurity. Because we're going to take a quick short break over here. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the CyberWatch newsflash. Phishing campaign targets Instagram users, posing threat to two-factor authentication backup codes. A new and alarming phishing campaign has emerged, strategically impersonating a copyright infringement email to deceive Instagram users. The deceptive messages falsely claim users have violated intellectual property laws, resulting in imposed account restrictions. In a bid to appeal this supposed decision, recipients are urged to click on a provided button, unwittingly redirecting them to sophisticated phishing pages. The phishing campaign poses a grave threat by specifically aiming to pilfer the backup codes, integral for bypassing two-factor authentication, 2FA on Instagram. 2FA is a fundamental security layer requiring additional verification during login, significantly enhancing the overall security of user accounts. The attackers exploit users' fears of copyright infringement consequences, creating a sense of urgency to click and appeal. Once on the phishing pages, users are prompted to enter sensitive account details, including the crucial backup codes. All right, it's time for us to take a short commercial break over here. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching TV Asia's brand new show, the CyberWatch Show. Ladies and gentlemen, let's fight the dark side together. Our guest on the program is Lalit Ahluwalia, the founder and CEO of DigitalXForce and iTrustXForce. Lalit, once again, welcome to the CyberWatch Show. In addition to phishing, make us understand what malware is.
So think of malware as if, in a simple terms now again, because I'm trying to leave a spy, something that really can capture the information without your knowledge.
Okay.
And in order to do that, your transactions that happen on what? Your computer,
right,
or your mobile device.
Right.
So in order to know what Vikas is doing, I need to put something that is actually watching without your knowledge.
Right.
That means I need to install something on there. We call it agent or the malware,
right,
which sits.
So silent tracking.
Silent tracking. But how would Vikas install that?
Right.
It gets installed when I send you something, oh, look at this funny video that everybody's watching. And Vikas clicks on that to watch. And it gets installed. Means Vikas or somebody has to take action to do that. So the malware is sent in certain packages, either through the emails or through methods, where the end user, in this case you, anyone, ends up clicking, and as a part of that, actually it installs that on your machine.
Right.
Now, how many of you have seen those ads that keep popping up?
Right, pop-ups basically.
Adware.
Adware, yes.
That's where you get annoyed sometimes. Why is it coming again and again? Like where did because you install a malware that is actually now giving the segment into the ads being played.
Right.
How many times you really seen when you're trying to surf some kind of suspicious websites get open?
Right.
That's another kind of malware.
Right.
So there are different kind of malwares, but in simple terms, these are like some of the agents that needs to be installed to spy on you, on your machine. What's the biggest disadvantage with the malware in our common day-to-day? It can actually take away some of the sensitive information. And please tell me if somebody is not keeping the bank information or SSNs and stuff or passwords in some way in your local computers.
Right. We're all keeping it.
And if that information is going passive without even giving away information through your phishing attacks, I won't be giving information through that method.
So Lalit, make me understand, how do you empower your clients and the consumers, now TV Asia viewers as well,
right?
How to be aware, or stay away from these kind of situations when it comes to cybersecurity? Are there some essential tools that people should be aware of?
See, as a common, so they're now called as businesses have different methods because they have to deploy. There's a lot of sensitive and they're regulated. A lot of businesses are.
Right.
So they have to deploy certain more sophisticated methods. But that doesn't mean as a common user that I cannot deploy those methods. What are the common methods, right? Everybody is familiar with antivirus, as I said. It's important. If your antivirus software is expiring, do not just take it lightly. I will come back to it. No, it's a very important method. Who has access to your computer? Make sure it's all the time with you. You don't want to leave it open. You don't want to leave it encrypted.
Okay.
Now, how many times, because have you gone to an airport and tried to connect to the airport Wi-Fi?
A lot of times.
I'm pretty sure the audience have too.
Right.
And it's not just about the airport because they're still maintained, but there are many public places where people go and connect to the public Wi-Fi.
Starbucks or any of these places, and we connect to the, Wi-Fi.
Right.
Sometimes we do it, deliberately.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do it because we have no choice, because there's no internet connectivity, so you have to use the public Wi-Fi. There's no
Right.
choice.
So now let me bring like, so essentially I gave you a road, and now you're going to travel to the road. How do you know that road is secure? I've not planted bomb or mines and stuff.
Right.
You're going to the road, and anything that's coming, I'm watching that. If that is a secure road, which is legit, no problems. But if it's not, you're compromised.
Right. It's something to think about, you know.
So what I'm trying to say is, when you are leveraging public Wi-Fi systems, make sure that you only go to website that are secure website.
Right.
And without getting into technical, you must have noticed when website open HTTP versus HTTPS.
Right.
That S is secure, is encrypted. Anything that you're going to transact is encrypted over the wire.
Right.
So even if somebody's watching, they cannot decipher or know what is going on.
Right.
So be cautious what you're sharing when you're leveraging that kind of public Wi-Fi system.
So this is interesting, Lalit, the way you explained it. The obvious question is, at the airport, there are thousands of people around.
Yeah.
Everybody is logging into different websites. How do I know cyber attack could be on me?
So when you cross a road, Vikas, do you care about the 1,000 people crossing the road or about you?
I would care about myself, correct?
Because who's going to be victim if you run into an accident?
Right.
So when you watch left, right, left, it's for you, your safety.
Right.
You don't think about, oh, there are 1,000 people, why they will hit me?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
This is the same analogy here. There are 1,000 people trying to access websites. They want to get there. But in the new age now, there is no limit on processing power when the bad actors have.
Right.
Especially now AI and all. I can automate it. I don't even have to like really worry about anyone.
Right.
All I'm just saying is who's falling victim. Where I can see the information. And you know what the worst part is? The results are not even immediate, or the damages are not even immediate. Sometimes that data gets mined. I'm going to use it when you are like least consciously worried about that.
Right.
And you never recognize what happened. Because I'm waiting when Vikas is on vacation and he's not even bothered, he's not going to access anything.
Right.
Now, a week
It's
later,
time for me to attack.
there you go. Because they're studying your patterns.
Right.
And this is happening because the attacks are getting sophisticated.
Right.
The data is getting mined everywhere. And AI is only going to, the artificial intelligence, right, which we all take, is only going to elevate the risk that entails. So bottom line is in our own best interest to protect ourselves.
Interesting. We're going to take another short break over here. On the other side of the break, we'll take your questions and queries. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back. You're watching the CyberWatch show, and my guest on the program is Lalit Ahluwalia. Lalit, once again, welcome to the CyberWatch show. It's time for us to take the questions and queries, concerns that our viewers have. This question that I have is from Rajesh Das. He sent this question from New York. Take a look at it. When you bank or shop online, do you trust the cybersecurity of the sites you visit with your data?
Oh, great question. And to be honest, it's a very relevant one that we all should be asking. Now, there's certain ways you can always make sure that the transactions you're doing, whether it's banking, whether it's online, is safe and secure. Few protocols. Number one, go to only trusted websites. Let's say Bank of America is their financial institution. You should know, like, okay, you're going to the website, and they're usually very good about like really protecting your online safety. So is like the online e-commerce websites. But there are a few things you need to kind of really pay attention to. We talked about something as simple as what the URL is saying. When the URL on the top, HTTPS versus S. When it's not S, I would never ever share any sensitive information on that. Why? Because it's not going securely or encrypted way. Number two, look for things that when you put your credentials and stuff, there's nothing spoofy or suspicious going on. We've seen sometimes when you it tries to redirect to some other page and asking for more sensitive information. Ask yourself a question, why they're asking for that. There's no need for you to share those things. The another hint I will give you, when you putting the payment information, by law, you cannot really have your identifier or the 3-digit PIN or 4-digit PIN being shown or displayed, and it can never be stored. If they're asking for that in a unsecure or display format, there's something suspicious. So these are some of the common methods you need to look for when you're really trying to do those online transactions. But first and foremost, always go to the trusted websites and look for the fundamentals.
So Lalit, the holiday season just concluded, and many of our viewers have expressed their concern on, on online shopping, buying the, e-gift cards. And one of the viewers also had the question and concern: is it safe to buy gift cards online? Some still feel that buying the gift cards in the store, like the traditional way that we have been doing it, that is the safest way to go ahead. What would you suggest?
I think it's the more myth and a misconception, because, and I think for the audience, it's not that because the digital transaction is less secure than buying a card from the store. In fact, I would say the audience has to get comfortable living the new digital. This is the norm. Now, what I said earlier, where you're going to buy the cards, is a trusted source or not? That's more important. And how you're buying and how you're doing the transaction is equally important, because that will really have the authenticity of the transaction.
Right.
And we're going to get more deep, as we go to the different segments later on. We'll get into some specific areas what you should be watching when you're trying to buy, for example, the online gift cards or other things, the parameters you should look for. So stay tuned for those episodes, because we'll share that information too. But first and foremost, go to only trusted sources to buy. Like, for example, when I go to Best Buy to buy something, I have no question or doubt, or Amazon or others, because these are trusted sources. It's happening. And also they have parameters, again, as I said, they trust you because your transactions are really happening, just like any other online shopping. But when you go into let's say some website hosted oh, I'm going to get you this 50% discount, and you do not or have trust, make sure everything is going in a secure fashion. Those are some of the common methods you should deploy for that.
So there you go, viewers. In our next episode with Lalit Ahluwalia, we will talk about the gift card scams, QR code scams, online shopping frauds, and much more. Until next time, this is Vikas Nangia signing off. And yes, more importantly, if you want to reach out to Lalit Ahluwalia and get some more information on cybersecurity, you can log into his social media handles. Lalit, before we sign off, would you like to give that information?
Absolutely. You can reach us both on Twitter or X, as well as the LinkedIn. You'll find me, Lalit K. Ahluwalia. Also, you can reach us on our websites, DigitalXForce.com or iTrustXForce.com. And you can always submit a query in any of those websites too.
You can also send in your questions and queries and concerns at cyberwatch@tvasiausa.com. And remember, let's fight the dark side together. Lalit, thank you so much for joining us on CyberWatch Show.
Thank you.